defined as physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being, defined by the World Health Organization. And that means health is a journey. It's not just a state where you're at the time. You know, we have to constantly be working on health. When we look at health, there's health, and then when health starts to break down, there's interference of health, then we have start to develop different things that happen in our body, which then causes symptoms, then we have all kinds of more symptoms building each other, and then finally at the end we have disease, where we actually start to see organs fail. There's a process here. So as a chiropractor, what we focus on is actually health more than the disease. Just like when you have darkness is defined by absence of light. So we would want to turn the light on to improve you know, the state of what's going on. And chiropractic, we want to focus on health. So what we focus on is three things: physical, chemical, and also, well, we call it, now see, that's all messed up. You can stop there.
I can just cut it.
I cut it out. Okay. So health is defined in three categories. There's three keys to optimal health. In chiropractic college, we learn these as the 3 T's. Trauma, which is based on the physical health. Toxins, which has to do with chemicals and things that we put in our body. And thoughts, so stress, how we think, how we manifest things in our mind and create tension in our body, those kind of things. So what I want to make sure is that all your body is functioning at 100%, all the symptoms, all the systems are working at 100%, that we're optimizing our nutrition and putting good things into our body, and reducing toxins and things that cause distress on the body that cause that interference in health. So, the body functioning 100% of the time. So the brain is our main hub that controls everything. We can live 40 days without food, about 4 to 7 days without water, only 5 seconds without our nervous system. So our nervous system is the control center. Our brain controls everything. So we want to make sure that brain can communicate down the spinal cord, the nerves come out, and everything can communicate with all the systems, tissues, organs, all the things in our body. So that's what I focus on as chiropractic, is that spinal alignment. When we have a distortion in the body, there's stress on the nervous system, the body can't operate at that optimal 100% function. So what we want to make sure is that the body's allowed to freely communicate, because if everything's communicating properly, then the body is self-healing, self-regulating, all those things happen like they should. So in chiropractic, we have a phrase called nature needs no help, just no interference. So we try to remove interference that's causing distress on the body, and therefore health is released. In today's society, we're starting to begin the understanding of focusing on wellness and trying to create a model of care that's focused more on that health part. We have so much more drugs, more chemicals, more things that we're trying to treat disease and fight cancer, and don't get me wrong, those are all good things, but if we focus on prevention and preventing and keeping our body healthy, we wouldn't have to focus on treating the disease then. We'd head it off. So medical paradigm, unfortunately, believes you're not sick, until you have a disease, until you have something until they have a lab to point to, or something that substantiates you've got a problem. Unfortunately, that's usually at the end of that disease cascade, what we were looking at before. You're already in the disease state, and then they treat the disease. But problems started breaking down before you actually had that problem. So therefore, we would focus on, as chiropractic and holistic healthcare providers, what we focus on is the wellness model, where we recognize, just because you feel good, because things are going well, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's not something going on. We actually look and see how the body's functioning. Is everything communicating properly? That's why we have tools and different things that we evaluate to see if there's other things going on that you might not feel in the body. And the advantage of this is that we can find stuff treat babies and different things like that. Sometimes just from delivery, there's a trauma that happens at birth, trauma right at birth, and there's a distortion that can happen, and it might not develop into that child until they're older, and they start showing up with either scoliosis or certain things, or headaches at a young age, certain things that could show up later in life, but maybe the initial trauma could have happened there. And so, again, we're talking about there's the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves that make up the whole system. It's the master control center. So that not only does the nerves control, everybody thinks about how the nerves control our pain, tingling, sensations, things like that in our body, but it also controls how our immune system works, how our digestive system works, how our respiratory system works. All these things are communicated through our nervous system. So I've had patients that had, they came in maybe initially with neck pain, and I found a misalignment maybe in their mid-back area, and incidentally, going to their history too, they said they get chronic heartburn. Well, I start adjusting them, I find, something's out in their mid-back area, and I correct that, adjust that subluxation or that misalignment, and when I do the re-exam and recheck with them, well, what's going on with the heartburn? Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I'm not getting heartburn anymore. Well, they didn't think, that nervous system also controls that thing. So the nervous system controls all the different functions that our body, even the ones we don't feel. What I focus on as a chiropractor is what we call the vertebro-subluxation complex. Big words, meaning just that misalignment. Those vertebrae are stacked up on top of each other. Just like this is showing in our back. And then the nerves come out between the vertebrae, the spinal cord in the center, in the middle here. So what we focus on is making sure that these vertebrae are not out of alignment. Just a little bit. If you have just enough of a little bit of a pressure, enough of like a quarter on your finger, if that much pressure is on your nerve, you're going to start to have breakdown communicating dysfunction. And so we want to make sure that those are lined up, make sure your pelvis is in balance, make sure your head's properly over your spine, and also other things we work on that. So when we have the vertebrae misaligned, we call that the subluxation, and interferes with the nerve impulses that communicate to the muscles, organs, and or glands. So this chart shows all the different organ groups, the major systems of the body, and how those nerves communicate through the nervous system to those things. So we want to make sure that that communication is very easily flowing, and that's what we look for when we're trying to adjust to see if there's a communication there. Symptoms that might occur from having a misalignment are sometimes pain and sensitivity, or maybe people say, no, it's not. Most people know that. That's why most people come to us chiropractors. But also we could have indigestion, heartburn, other things. I've had patients that have had asthma and had improvement in their asthma symptoms and their allergy symptoms resolve. People who had chronic sinus infections, things like that, where those resolve. Poor focus. I've had several children that maybe have the ADD, ADHD, that had struggles with that, and with being adjusted, freed up some of that, their minds so they're not so hyper. And because think about it, if your neck's out of alignment, there's pressure, there's constantly maybe communication sending to the brain, and that's overwhelming the brain too, and they're trying to focus, and they might be moving and jittery, trying to feel comfortable, even though they might not think, might not feel pain, the body still will attribute. Poor posture. Our society is full of computer desk workers, driving commuters, things like that, and our posture is just kind of getting pulled forward, which is going to cause more tension on the spine and the nervous system. Headaches, and a myriad of other things. You can look on my website to look at other things that chiropractic has helped these different symptoms. Even though we don't focus on the symptoms, we focus on just the body functioning better. So our optimal thing is, progressive people are now realizing they need to focus on the wellness, more prevention, focus on that. So coming in to me before they might have a pain or symptom, they just want to get checked. We do periodic spinal screenings. We'll check people and family members and things like that, that even if we have they don't think that they have any pain, but we'll do spinal screens and sometimes we'll come up with things and we can help them even though they don't have pain. And then a lot of times people don't realize that they have things going on until we start adjusting them, until they feel better. And they don't realize that there's a distortion there, or they don't have the pain, but all of a sudden that they just feel maybe more energy, or like I said, their immune system might feel better, or they might be able to breathe better. And people have said they sleep better, different things like that. So what we're just making sure is that we want to make sure that the body's working at its optimal system, optimal efficiency all the time. And people can, it's up to you. It's your choice to take responsibility for this body that you have. You have a choice. You can either go in, just like you go into the dentist. You can wait till you have a problem, or you think you have a problem, I should say, and get a root canal done. You get drilled because you have the cavity and it's painful. Or you can go in and try to keep everything healthy and maintain that, or get checked and make sure you don't have a problem even though it's not causing you a symptom. The choice is yours on how you want to take care of your body. Thank you for your time and have a good day.